What's up, collectors? Welcome back to Films by Color. Welcome back to another installment of boutique Blu-ray labels that should be on your radar. These are smaller boutique labels that I don't hear get talked about as much, but they're just as good as the bigger guys like Criterion or Arrow Video. So I want to talk about them here. This is episode 2, if you're keeping track. The first episode, we talked about classic flicks. Second episode, we're talking about Flicker Alley, and this is a huge box from Flicker Alley, and I can't wait to show you what's in here. They released a brand new title that just came out last week or so, just a couple weeks ago, and I ordered it immediately because I needed to have it in my collection. It's related to Criterion. These are Criterion titles that are out of print from Criterion, and the only way you can get them on Blu-ray is from Flicker Alley, so stay tuned. We're gonna open this up and show you what's inside. I'm gonna flip this open. Look at this. First of all, fragile on the side. They've packaged it beautifully. I don't know why they use such a big box, but I'm very thankful for it because these titles are super safe in here. There's some bubble wrap on top. Each one is individually wrapped in bubble wrap underneath. It's amazing. This is the best packaging job I've ever seen from a big store online like this. So I've got all 3 titles in here. We've also got a little order summary. All 3 releases listed right there. So 2 of these are new releases, and then one of them is an older release that I had to grab while I was at it. And we'll start with the new one first, if I can get this opened up. So I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Criterion has the rights, or had the rights to this film, but they lost it. So this is an out-of-print DVD release from Criterion. It hasn't been around for a while. You can maybe get it online on eBay, secondhand. But this is the recently released The King of Kings. Look at that, beautiful little cover art. I like the cover art of this better than the Criterion as well. But Flicker Alley also uses Skinavo cases, just like Criterion, just like Indicator and Classic Flicks, which we talked about last time. So very similar boutique releases to what you're used to. I've got a few other, actually I should grab those off the shelf, one second. Okay, so I have a few other Flicker Alley releases in the collection, not many. Like Classic Flicks, this is a very small part of my collection, but I have 4 so far. You can see they use very colorful spines, which looks great on my shelf. We've got The Lost World, 1925, classic stop motion sci-fi film. We've got the Georges Méliès fairy tales, which are some of my favorites. Trip to the Moon, on my top 100 favorite films. And recently I picked up these 2. I found this sealed at CD Warehouse, which was a lot of fun. That's a Mary Pickford film from 1925. And then Repeat Performance was gifted to me by a friend of the channel, Jeffrey Patrone. And I'm very thankful for that as well. That is a noir film. But today, we're talking about The King of Kings, the 5th Flicker Alley release in my collection. I'm gonna open this up because this is a great film. This is a silent film as well. Flicker Alley puts out a lot of silent films and a lot of early films from the 30s and 40s, which appeals to me quite a bit. They also put out a lot of noir films from the 50s and 60s. So yeah, a lot of stuff that crosses into my interests and my collecting habits. So I'm gonna be buying a lot more Flicker Alley stuff in the future. I've held off, I don't know why I've held off, because I've been interested in them for a while. 2 discs right there, both Blu-rays. You've got the 1928 general release reconstruction, and then the 1927 roadshow version. So I've seen this film. I got to see this in the theater, the Strand Theater here in Marietta, Georgia, which I was very thankful to get to see, but I don't know which version I saw. I don't know if I saw the roadshow version or the general release version, but that's really cool that they include both of those. Really nice disc art on there. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that, but the disc shines through. You can see the silver at certain points. There's cutouts in the cross and in the film Flicker Alley logo that you can see. Very cool. And of course, they include a booklet, a very thick booklet. How many pages? 25, 26 pages with some essays in there, some information on the reconstruction and the history of the film. Of course, some full color images right there. This is a Cecil B. DeMille film, one of his earlier religious films from the time. We've also got alternate artwork underneath, which is really cool. And that is the artwork I'm more familiar with for this film. But you've got your options. You can use either one, whichever one you want to show. I like how thorough Flicker Alley is. They've got everything. They've got alternate artwork, multiple discs, and of course supplements here. Look at the bonus materials on the side here. You're not gonna be able to read it, but all down this side is all bonus features. So I'll go ahead and read those to you. You've got an audio commentary by Mark Wanamaker. You've got 2 scores for the 1928 general release. You've got the making of the King of Kings, a 20 minutes of behind the scenes footage. You've got King of Kings set visit, King of Kings premieres in Germany, a week on Broadway, a -A and -B featurette, Technicolor, a look at the innovative process behind the film's color sequences, hand coloring onto the film, photo galleries, and souvenir booklet, which we already looked at. This is the definitive release of this film. Sorry, I love your Criterion, but Flicker Alley killed it with this release. I'm very happy to add that to the collection. And that is spine number 88. So Flicker Alley's been around for a long time, and they have more releases than some of the other smaller boutique labels that we'll talk about. But solid boutique label. And along the same vein as that, I like to collect the Criterion Collection, but I'm not a completionist with Criterion Collection. So if there's a better version from another boutique label, I'll go ahead and go with that. So that's what I did with King of Kings, and that's what I did also with this release. Now this is an older Flicker Alley release. This is not a new release, but it was still in print on the website. And this is also a out-of-print Criterion DVD that you can no longer find except for secondhand. And it's something I've been interested in a while. It's also a silent film. It is Nanook of the North, a documentary, a silent documentary about Eskimos. I've heard about this for a long time. I'm glad I waited and held off on the Criterion. I almost bought it, the out-of-print DVD on eBay before, because I didn't know about this Flicker Alley release. So this is an older one. It came out several years ago now, spine number 28, so 60 titles ago. It's still got 2 discs in here, 2 Blu-rays. This is Nanook of the North and Other Films of Arctic Life. And disc 2 is The Wedding of Paulo and Other Films of Arctic Life. So you've got 2 silent films from the 1920s. You've got artwork again on the front, and again, you've got alternate artwork underneath with the posters for both films right there. And another thick 25-page booklet. This is really cool. This is made to look like a journal, like a classic journal that would be on one of these expeditions. There's beautiful photography in here. I'm excited to watch this. This has been on my list for a while. We just did like our favorite winter films this year, and I wanted to watch this before we did that video, but I didn't have a chance. So now I can finally check this one off my list. Really looking forward to it. And again, tons of supplements on the back. I'll go ahead and read through these. Oh, it's okay. So it's got all the other films. So there's lots of Arctic films on here. So Dwellings of the Far North is 1928. Primitive Love is 1927, Arctic Hunt, 1913, Eskimo Hunters of Northwest Alaska from 1949, Face of the High Arctic from 1959. So several documentary features about Arctic life on here, the 32-page booklet, which we already took a look at. These are such cool releases. I'm glad they did this. Both available from Criterion at one time, not anymore. I don't know if they'll get the rights back anytime soon. So I recommend picking up these Flicker Alley releases if you have any interest in silent films. And speaking of silent films, we're going all the way. We're going 3 for 3 with my 3rd release here. This came out just before King of Kings. This is spine number 87, and it is another silent film. It is Merry-Go-Round, and this just sounded right up my alley, no pun intended. It's directed by Erich von Stroheim, who's a director that I've seen a few of his films I'm very familiar with. The Mad Whirl of Life, Love, and Luxury, a Universal Super Jewel production. Look at that. Look at that. If you guys know me, if you've been following the channel for any amount of time, you know I love carnivals and circuses and sideshows, and that whole aesthetic for me is one of the best locales you can set a film in. I just love getting into that world, and this is a carnival film. You can see there's a big Ferris wheel right on the back if I can ever get into this thing. Jeez, this is some hardcore plastic wrap right there on the back. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. It's really small, but there is a Ferris wheel and the rest of the carnival right there. This is a 1923 film directed by Erich von Stroheim. Stroheim is an Austrian-American director, or was an Austrian-American director, known for his work in the silent era. I know him from Greed, if you've heard of the film Greed. Also The Merry Widow, which was another silent film I got to see at the Strand Theater with live organ accompaniment. It was a great experience to see that with a full audience of people. I'm gonna go ahead and read the back of this one because it's not as well known as the other ones, because it's not in the Criterion collection. I don't think. Flicker Alley is honored to present for the first time ever on Blu-ray the new restoration of Erich von Stroheim's Merry-Go-Round. Merry-Go-Round was initially intended to be Erich von Stroheim's fourth directorial feature for Universal following the success of Foolish Wives. Behind the scenes, however, Stroheim wrote the script, supervised the production, but was initially forbidden by the studio from headlining, and 6 weeks into shooting was fired and replaced by Rupert Julian. So that's why Rupert Julian's name is also listed on the front. He was the director of the original Phantom of the Opera, the silent version from 1925. So there's a lot of troubled history with this film. So it's really cool that we have this restored version, because there's a lot of stuff that they had to do to get this together. It says this new restoration reconstructs the original continuity by combining the surviving original film elements throughout the world, meticulous image restoration, and recreation of the original stunning color effects to offer audiences the closest look possible at the original version of the film. So if you're a film historian, if you like lost films, damaged films, if you like researching all that stuff and watching them, this is a great release for you. We've got an audio commentary on here as well, a couple featurettes, a full feature film from 1915 called Old Heidelberg, photo galleries, and of course the booklet inside, which I did not show you yet. Again, alternate artwork underneath. They go all out on this alternate artwork. It's got a different spine color, the different poster from the original. Very, very nice. Nice touch with that. Here is the merry-go-round booklet, all aboard. There's a nice quote there on the back with that shredded individual. And in here, we've got essays on the film, stuff about the restoration. Of course, we've got photos from the film. We've got posters, original posters from the film. I love this kind of stuff. I like to dig into these, especially these kind of films when there's not that much information out there on these films, these early silent stuff. I don't know what it is. For some reason, I really like digging into these. And here's 3 silent films that I've added to the collection today from Flicker Alley. Hope you enjoyed going through those with me. Hope you learned something. Hope the video was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you already collect Flicker Alley and what titles I should pick up for my own collection, what you recommend down there. I'll talk to you in the comments down below as always. Check out the Flicker Alley site if any of that sounded interesting to you, because they've got a lot of other stuff on there. Like I said, they're up to over 80 spine numbers, so there's a lot of interesting stuff on there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm really enjoying doing this series. I want to keep it going as long as I can. Keep learning about smaller boutique labels along with you guys. I'll put episode 1 right here on the screen so you can watch that in case you missed it. And until next time, keep collecting.